Hey there, it's Jen, and I'm back with another process video. I'm using the December 2014 Scraptastic Heartbeats kit. These are the photos I'm going to be using. I am scrapbooking some older photos. These are from 2010. I went to Spark the event, which I don't know if any of you might remember that, but it was put on by Margie Romney Aslett, Ronna Farrer, and Liz Karchner that year. And it was just minutes from my house, so I decided to attend. And this page is all about meeting Mindy Gledhill, and she is a musician and songwriter. And her songs are just, if you haven't checked her out, be sure to. But her songs are really inspiring, and the lyrics are really, I don't know, they're just really inspiring. I've created several scrapbook layouts based on the words of her songs, and so I am finally making a layout about meeting her, and I have a photo of the two of us. So I am scrapbooking older photo now. I'm going to use the rest of that Amy Tan paper for the top of my layout. I used a portion of the other side of it for one of the first layouts that I did with this kit, and I'm trying to decide what I'm going to use for the word Mindy here, what thickers. I have so many thickers. I thought about cutting something out on my silhouette, but I thought, you know what, I need to use up some thickers. So I knew I wanted to include some red die cuts from the Amy Tangerine die cut package that was included in the kit, and um, so I was trying to make my title reflect that, and it just wasn't working. So I went and found some gray thickers, and I'm going to use this. It's kind of a large, like short and fat font. I can't remember what it's called. I apologize, but I really like the way the light gray looks. It's not too heavy and it doesn't draw too much attention, but it's large, so it draws just enough attention. And then I'm going to use the Ellie Studio gray little letter stickers that came in the kit for the word meeting. And I'm just placing that on some wax paper to make sure I get my placement right before I lay that all down. And I'm using some gray cardstock for my background. And you'll notice that I have a little bit of trouble with the word meeting, and I'll shuffle that around a little bit. I really like it when the descenders of my letters, so like on a G, the part that hangs down, can hang in like an open spot of the word below it, and these thickers don't really have any open spots, and so I had a little bit of a hard time with the title, but it's fine. So I decided that underneath that large piece of pattern paper I wanted to put a few strips of some other colors, and I hadn't used any of that I think it's Echo Park Creative Agenda, that yellow paper, and I wanted to add a little bit of that in and kind of focus a little bit on some yellows as well as the red. So I just cut a tiny strip, and now I'm cutting it at an angle because I want to have the strips be a little off balance. I like the way that that looks, and I'm just going to slide them under the first layer, and then I'm going to take this over to my sewing machine, and there you see it. I just stitched with some white thread, and then I'm kind of fluffing up the edges to give it a little bit of texture. And then I just adhere the loose threads, just pulling them around to the back and adhering it with some washi tape. And I like to do that. And then I'll just trim off the excess. And then I'm just going to, I found this was part of a branding strip, and I don't know if it was that map paper or from another one, but it is from the Amy Tan Stitched collection, one of the papers, and I just decided to slide that underneath as well because I liked the little polka dot. So when I'm mixing patterns, I like to think about I like to mix like a polka dot and a stripe and a floral. So you got to have something soft with something more bold, and a mixture of smaller and larger patterns. And I feel like that makes it look better when you're mixing patterns. So here I am trying to tuck the G underneath the Y, but it doesn't look like a G, so I'll end up moving it all up a little bit, and I think it still looks okay. I was worried about having a space between the words, but seeing the curve of the bottom of the G is more important. And then I had just peeled one of the letters uh, kind of apart, and so I was just re-adhering it a little bit with my Scotch Quick Dry adhesive. So here I am moving all those letters up, and I'm just going to fiddle around with those to make sure they are straight. It's harder to make them straight when they're not resting right on top of that other word, but they're still really close, so it works out fine to move that G up. And then I'm going to just work in some die cuts. So I'm just going to shuffle around a bunch of the die cuts from the Amy Tangerine Stitched die cut pack that came in the kit. And I'm just going to, because I have my photos, a small one and then on top of a larger one, what I'm going to do is work from right to left in kind of a diagonal for the placement of all of my embellishments. So often I'll do like 3 clusters of embellishments, and if I don't do it that way, I really like to do it in a diagonal. And I just think that that kind of helps your eye flow across the page. So I'm just trying to, these clear stickers are hard for me. I can work with clear embellishments more easily than clear stickers. I don't know why, but clear stickers are hard. And so I'm really trying to use these up, and this is a good layout for me to do that on because often I'll layer up my embellishments and I'll put them right on the photos and stuff. With something like this where I'm creating a line across the background, there's plenty of space for me to put my stickers directly onto the background, and it's a fairly light colored pattern paper, and so it works for me to do that. So I did place that camera in the space right above where it says meeting. It was the perfect size. And now I'm just using one of the photo corners, and I'm putting a little piece of that yellow to bring it up to the top, and I'm going to glue that in the top left corner. Just gives that tiny little bit of balance because everything else is going to be on the right. And I've popped up a few of the embellishments, that little red heart, as well as this flower cluster that I'm placing right now. And I'm just layering up some of the other pieces. I wanted to use these little wood paper clips on this page, and so rather than making them actually look like they're clipped to anything, I'm just going to staple them directly to the pieces the way they are. So you'll see that in just a second. I felt like I needed something underneath that teal piece on the bottom because since it's going from top to bottom, it really should go lower right there. I don't know if that even made sense what I just said, but I felt like it needed something below it to give it a little bit more balance. So I just put a little sticker there. And then I just stapled on those wood paper clips, and I'm just putting a tiny bit of adhesive underneath them to tack them down. And then I just went over to my sewing machine and stitched down that photo corner so that it matched the layers. And I will kind of rough up those edges there in a second. And I'm adding a few of the puffy stickers from Embellishments. An arrow that says love you, which is pointing to the photo of me and Mindy, and then another arrow that's kind of near that camera pointing to the other photo of her. And I'm getting pretty close to being done here. I'm just kind of roughing up those edges a little bit more. And then I'm going to do my journaling. So before I committed to writing my journaling on that gray part of the layout, I wanted to practice first. So I had this strip from a previous layout, and I do that a lot where I'll write stuff out and then lay it onto my layout to see if it's going to work. It's kind of a waste of paper, but it's more important that I know that it's going to look right. And even still afterward, I don't know if I super loved it, but I did not want to write my journaling up in that space in the left up to the upper left of my layout because I wanted a place for your eye to rest. And so often I'll do my journaling in a line if there's a line that I can follow so that it doesn't take away from the design of the layout. And so that's what I'm doing here. And I'm just using a white gel pen. And then you saw my daughter with her brilliant her arm is full of bracelets. She told me that she was a princess waiting for her prince to come and unlock her out of her tower, and her prince is my husband and he's at work, so she's impatiently waiting for him to get home. Anyway, so I'm just writing a bit of my journaling, and I'm just talking about how influential Mindy's songs have been on me, and what an impact they've had over these past 5 years. Some of her words are the words that have stuck with me the most out of any other um, thing I've listened to or thing I've heard. Her song lyrics have really um, stuck out in my mind. And so that's just kind of what I'm writing about. And then I'm going to stamp the date with my Chamel roller date stamp in white. And then I believe I'm just going to, do a little bit of splattering with my Heidi Swap Gold Color Shine. And I'm using gold because some of the Amy Tan little die cuts have gold accents on them. And that is going to complete my layout. So this is, I think, my fourth layout, maybe my third with the, nope, fourth layout with the December kit from Scraptastic. And I think I'm going to call it good with this one, and then I am going to mix the rest of my December kit with my January kit because they match fairly well. So my next layout will likely be using those kits mixed together. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this. I was going to say this program. Yes, this program. I hope you enjoyed this layout, and I hope to see you back here soon. Thanks so much for watching. Bye-bye.